Tabletop time.
Wait,
I'm
music. Wait.
And I'm Dave.
L. I'm Jenny.
Jazz up.
Dave's doing a weird
now
pointy
that-
thing.
Panicked under
Dave.
pressure. It's
Yeah.
Regent.
Yeah, he did it to me last time we did Kindred as well.
You'd
You're like,
think-
get ready. Look at it.
You'd think after years that you'd be able to do it.
Nope.
No, we wouldn't think.
Nope.
It's good to be back.
Oh,
Yes.
it's only been a week.
Well, we have a
It's
lovely
getting
we have a lovely announcement for you all. It is a long-awaited announcement. Jazza, sir, could you please take me to the screen reveal page?
Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
That's right. We're playing Pokemon again.
What's Pokemon?
Pokemon.
Yay.
Bad man.
Well done. That was tight. Well done.
Oh my god, look at them. Look at them.
Available in 2 different sheet sizes, transparent, white background, or holographic for those rare shiny
Whoa, look
chasers.
at
If you
that.
want your shiny stickers.
Hell yeah.
I want all of them.
Wow. You can peel off your stickers. You've got all of the starters and all of the not Pokemon we invented and have IP rights to, sort of. You can get in sticker form.
Yay.
Alf's back in Pog form.
Al's back in sticker form.
I want to hug the bear.
This is a long-awaited.
Pretty shroomish.
I love that we
long
have
way.
our evolutions too. That's so good.
Yeah. We may as well steal the. You may as well steal the thicker sheet. You may as well fill the sticker sheet.
I see.
Still
yeah.
the thicker sheet.
What was your little egg boy called? Floodle. Floodle.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember the egg boy.
Well,
That's amazing.
I love
that
it.
was my
Happy.
exciting announcement.
I'm so
I
happy.
love the announcement.
I love stickers.
Well done.
Yeah.
Available on the Tabletop Time website.
It only took.
Don't talk about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They don't need
Worth
to
the
know.
wait. Worth the wait.
Move on.
Go check it out. Links in the description. Thank you for your support.
Thanks.
And you get a shiny show
Frankfurt
us.
leg spider.
You need to stop.
It's got Frankfurt legs.
You need to stop. No more.
Oh god,
so
I
cute.
need it. I want to fix that, but maybe
what?
now's not.
What have you done?
The picture. Look at the pic. Don't look at
Don't
Don't look
ignore
at it. Nobody look at
Don't
it.
look at it.
What is it?
I said nothing. I've said nothing.
What the
I
hell?
also want to fix that light needs to turn towards your green screen because you've got grass growing between. It's the bottom. It needs to crop in
Dave
the
moved
background
it.
thing.
Blame
In the
Dave.
it doesn't. I tell you what.
Someone move.
I don't know what you're talking
Go
about.
back to the main screen.
We're on the main
Exposed.
screen still.
There you go. I just fixed it with my. I just needed to conconcentrate. Ugh, little power of mental.
You're
was
so
impressive.
magic.
Yeah.
That was magic.
Well,
I do impress.
last week we had
Last
a lot of
time.
trauma, a lot of recovery, a lot of moments with our party. Has anyone got some notes they want to share with the class?
Last time on LUCEVERA. Oh, Jazza doesn't mind if he does.
Well,
Right this time.
we returned to our inn and set about trying to prevent Bianca from dying.
Present.
We decided.
Wow, we.
Do you want to?
You're doing a great job.
We decided to travel to Messendria through the night to get her cared for urgently. When we arrive, we obtain a writ from the Count to have her. I have terrible handwriting. I just want to. Anyway.
You're doing great.
To have her seen at the hospice. A sultry, smoking physician.
Whoa.
Okay, Lorenzo.
I'm definitely smoking.
I thought this was your
he's
personal
just-
journal, and I realized that, oh no, he actually did smoke. That's
Yes,
okay.
he was
Yep.
smoking.
Yeah,
It
he was
was
his
actually
personal
smoking.
journal.
You described him as sultry?
Well, it's a little bit like I think
like this.
like he thinks. That's it. Yeah,
You're very good. It's been a while since I've had someone with your talent.
that's it.
Yeah.
Assessed her and has her treated. While
That's why
Lorenzo
Lorenzo
is
wanted to close
also
bed.
interred. Bianca is no longer dying.
Please.
Lorenzo is no longer injured. Lorenzo spends recovery time sketching patients. Leone sells loot and Arvin works at the hospice. That's a TLDW.
Buys out like the whole flower shop.
Oh, that's
Oh yeah, but that's that's sort of where we're taking off, right?
So, in the days
No.
that Bianca is still recovering, so this is in that first week.
Do I get to use carefree music in this episode?
Huh?
It's been a few.
Sorry, we.
It's been a bit heavy. Can we use some Jeffrey?
Are we angry?
Am I like, is it like
I mean,
Bianca has been blah, blah, blah? Or is it like Bianca has been, blah, you know?
No, we're still probably we're not there yet.
we're not there.
Can I say?
All right, go on, ask
We're
away.
getting there.
Can I just say that is like after doing music, it is so important to ask that question because
Yes.
so many times I open
Yes.
this with it and I'm like,
You have to guess.
Oh, no, this
You're
is
like,
not-
and sad music? Oh, no, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
And it's like, dun, 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 and then they died.
just get it.
You're like, subtle fate.
Hey, you should do what I did in the one shot that we did in the arena, and I had 2 different tracks playing at the same time. and then you can't, you can't get caught out.
Cover all bases.
Sorry.
As you were.
Sorry.
So in the few days, so this is still while Bianca is recovering from dying to injured. So in that
Yes.
first week, after Lorenzo has recovered from his injury. So Lorenzo is now starting to heal up in terms of the health side of things. That this time Arvin is working and Leone comes in. It's probably the 4th day and she's sold all of her goods. And there is a cart that is wheeled up to the front door alongside her. And a pair of fairly young apprentices, a 15-year-old girl and her older sister who work for the florist, begin to bring in an entire cart's worth of flowers and in all different types. So there's some like wreaths, there's some hanging flowers, there's flowers to go in vases, like to tie on things. And they come in and begin to gift the patients with flowers, many of whom don't seem to notice, but some acknowledge quietly and thankfully, and bring this sudden bloom of life into the hospice. The courtyard is beautiful in the hospice, but the inside was a little bit neglected. And as Leone comes in, she comes in with this burst of color that is pretty impossible to ignore.
And it turns out she's one of the cultists from earlier on with all the weird flowers.
Serious tone.
Okay,
Serious tone. You listen to the music.
I'm
you
on
follow
my deathbed.
Get garroted by a foxglove.
You're supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
Trauma.
Okay.
What would you? Are you awake?
I don't know. Am I?
You're at this point. It's 4 days in. You are awake.
Yeah.
Yes,
You're
And there's
injured and
suddenly
not
a
dying.
garden on the inside.
Yeah,
being
much.
brought in and
of-
set up.
Does-
Yes.
Okay.
Does Bianca even like flowers?
We had to find out.
Maybe.
Okay. Leone comes in with flowers that would try to match your feathers as close as possible. So like carnations that are bright red or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's why you
Red
bought
and
the entire
orange.
shop.
Yeah, I did.
You needed all the colours.
Trial and error.
Just like these ones. We'll swap them out. Yeah. And then she puts them like by your bedside table.
I don't know what face you're making at me.
I was OC. Wait, ADHD. Come on, get back.
Get back to dying. What are you
Can't
doing?
die when there's someone making faces
I
at
wasn't
me.
making faces.
Okay. If there are any red roses, Bianca will reach out with her one good arm and try to like pick one up to smell it.
Sure. I go get.
Did you get me red roses?
I'll go get the roses.
She bought the whole
Bit of it.
shop.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay.
If they want any in
definitely
the shop, you're not finding any.
I feel like they're like a standard. Yeah, I'll kind of like, I'll pick it up and I'll smell it. And I'll say, my mother used to grow roses in her garden. Reminds me of home.
Oh, how long has it been since you were back?
I see them occasionally in Allegrano, but I left home as soon as I could start training. So, late teens.
And your mother? Is she well?
I think so. She's busy talking to other nobility and fussing about dinners and what you're wearing and manners, you know. Wasn't someone you just have a nice chat with. Thank you for the flowers.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Do you like flowers?
I think they're very pretty. I can appreciate Someone's craftsmanship. I have different set of skills, but I could never make something so pretty.
Craftsmanship with flowers.
Yeah, of course. These arrangements were made by people. It took skill.
I suppose. Gardening could be like that.
There are these arrangements. So they're not just loose flowers. They're sort of, pre-prepared arrangements set on bedsides, particularly chosen colors and.
Lorenzo's just sort of like looking around, like
You're in heaven.
he is, but he's not saying anything. I think like having grown up being told, it's not, a man's business to think about colorful
Pretty
flowers,
things.
or like maybe once in his life when his parents had a huge argument, he might have seen him come with a few measly picked thingies to try, but like it's not like, his whole life was dust and stone. So it's like, but he's in love with the colors, and you can see his eyes sort of watering as he's just like looking around at them in wonder.
I'll kind of notice that and go, and do you have a favorite flower, Lorenzo?
It's not something I've ever thought about or looked for. I know nothing of flowers, really.
You love colors.
I do, and this, I think, is more than I've seen in one place. It's amazing. Truly, I wish I could bottle them all up and carry them with me. That things like this would last forever, he sort of says, turning a few in his hands.
As you are all around Bianca's bed and looking at the flowers, you have that moment where you catch eyes with a short figure who walks down the corridor past you, who you've seen here every day, just not too long after breakfast, carrying a little tray from outside. She's pretty short. She's about 5 foot. And she just has a round, kind face and this nest of black hair. And that's about all you know about her. She gives that awkward, smile of people who frequently see each other at the same place but have never talked. And then she nods and, shuffles past you.
Who does she give the smile to?
All of you as a group. Because I imagine you're at the bed and then everyone's kind of around the foot of the bed and she kind of has to, weave past you a little bit.
If Arvin's sort of been working here, has he had more interaction with her?
Probably not, just by happenstance. It's only the 4th day, and she only comes in to visit in the mornings. And you see her as she walks past and then gets to the end of the corridor, turns and goes through the sort of wide door into the courtyard where the sun is shining. She picks a flower as well out of one of the little arrangements and walks down into that garden where one of the nurses has already left that young girl that you've seen out there that seems very pale and sick and unmoving. And she brings the tray in and sits down, and you can hear the quiet, one-sided conversation without making out any words.
And this was, you said it was 4 days in?
Yeah.
Would I, through my time working here, know anything about that particular patient?
You haven't been called upon to do anything related to her. So you've definitely... It's not like a hospital because it's not modern. So it's not like there's charts and you get a rundown of the patients. It's sort of been like, these are who we're treating. We treat them. You'd say there's probably 10 or 15 people here you've never even interacted with because it's there's nothing we can do for them medically, physician-wise. They just get fed their food or they're never going to get better. There are people here who are considered to be unfit for society and are basically in bed rest. You would say... I wouldn't say this in universe because no one knows what it is, unbalanced humors, whatever. But from a modern perspective, there's a few elderly people in here. There's a couple of people with dementia. There's because it's also a hospice care in that sense. And there's 1 or 2 people who, by modern standards, would probably be diagnosed with a significant mental illness that causes them to be schizophrenia or something severe. That means that they actually can't really function. And there's some that you would expect have had presented with conditions like that and have received rather significant medical intervention that has left them to be basically placid and laying in beds getting spoon-fed some soup. So there's definitely, it's that kind of place. There's a lot of...
It paints a clear picture for listeners and viewers.
Yeah.
Even though it's
So it's...
Because it's vague to our characters.
You don't,
Who
yeah,
knows
and
what's wrong with these
anything that's
people?
happening is the appropriate treatment.
Yeah.
So if you
But,
need
like,
to drill into
everyone-
someone's skull to fix
Yeah.
something, then that's great. A physician did it.
Yeah.
The reality is, though, this is a very nice place
I was
for
just
the
gonna say,
medieval
they would
equivalent.
have all been on the street or dead.
Yes, this is a very nice place, and you're aware, like, the treatment that's being given and the care is the very best that these people can muster. Yeah. So she counts in those group of people that you just haven't
Yeah.
had cause to by this time ask
So
about.
she doesn't work there.
She doesn't work here.
Yeah. And it's not an oddity that there is a single person out there.
There are visitors that come in and visit, but this is just the one. It so happens that this little courtyard is right to Bianca's. I imagine her bed head goes up against sort of a pillar between, and the window is right next to it, and the sun shines in, and it's very beautiful and picturesque. But that courtyard is directly behind, and that's why you see it every day. So it's sort of starting to treat. Every day she comes in and visits. Yeah.
I'm sick of all this lying around.
I tend to agree with you, but I'm sorry. You need to rest. You're still quite injured.
Perhaps.
Bianca feels a squirm at her arm as a couple of maggots writhe around. This is still in that first week of dying to injured, not. Yeah, so you're very poorly.
I'm just trying to ignore it.
Lorenzo's not injured anymore, but every now and then he like leans over and throws up.
It's not happening to you.
It's all right. They're doing
Lots
their
of
job.
iron, this one.
Perhaps I could fetch you something to read.
Yes, I suppose. Pass the time. Thanks.
I'll go and sort something out.
You just hear her cry out across the thing.
Start
That's
of a
the cook.
sneeze.
No, just frequent. No,
No, just sorry, misread the whole.
you just frequently every now and then you hear a cry of anguish or a scream of pain as where the medical intervention is taking place, or someone who's just it's a peaceful place punctuated by momentary horror, especially from one wing that Arvin has also not been required in.
I think
But that's where you found the doctor with all the black curtains and the screaming patients.
I think it might be worth noting as well that during this time of healing, like Bianca doesn't make any like noises of pain. It's like at most you get like a like clenched teeth or like a face of
Very
discomfort.
controlled.
But yeah, it's
wow.
like a very like trying to shut it, like keep it all in kind of thing. Yeah.
Stoic.
Seal, don't feel, don't let it show.
Exactly.
So,
Put my glove on singular.
is there anything you wish to inquire about in this period, or are you happy to kind of let time tick through?
Happy to let time tick through.
I've
think.
got a couple of things that I would like to
Yep.
do. One, I'm happy to go find something for Bianca to read. Whether that's
You're so thoughtful.
She's got a lot of guilt going on.
yeah.
Could this be
Okay.
the moment that Leone
Do you want
evolves
to
from
think about
goblin
that
to
gift
human?
just for a moment? Just for a moment.
What?
Okay.
Just,
You can read one-handed.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
A Booktop ensures that
Okay, all right.
you can read one-handed.
Did we the book that you found in the catacombs?
Still in my pack.
Okay.
Where, so I
Did we
assume-
see you get that? I can't remember.
Yeah, someone was looking at it with me.
Okay.
Arvin.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, go find something for Bianca to read, whether that's romance or whatever I can get my hands on.
I got something extra spicy for you.
Maybe light, maybe
I
not
put the
like
red rose
horror
in between my teeth.
or a medical book.
while you're smelling those flowers.
Do you want romance?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Roll for romance.
Oh, yeah, what is
Roll for
LUCEVERA?
smart.
What's a Oh my god!
Bad roll. You got a
What's a nat
18.
20 and what's a nat 1?
Okay,
Sorry.
so Leone's leaving this place for the day to go buy some.
Yes,
book.
I would also like to purchase some stationery, just pen and paper, so I can write to my parents.
Okay.
The
I
last
love
Argonian
these
maid.
concepts. I don't think you know how expensive this stuff is.
Oh,
So you do find a boutique store in this town because it is the capital of a little county. Thank you.
Not the
There
one.
is a store that I wouldn't even go as far as to call a bookstore. because it sells more than that. It's kind of like an emporium for the wealthy, but there is a selection of books there.
Oh.
It's the only place you will find books for sale because there's no such thing as bookshops.
And like a hospice,
This is normal.
Doesn't have just books sitting
way.
on the side for people to read.
No.
Library? That does
there a
that.
There's
Printing.
no such thing.
Is there
There's
a
no
printing
printing
press?
press. So every book is remember that town you went to with the scribes?
Oh, yeah,
Every
yeah,
book at this
yeah.
stage is still
Okay.
hand scribed. So
Whoa.
they're expensive. The
Damn, we should
paper is
have
expensive. The
invented that.
ink is expensive.
Books.
We should have brought that to the festival.
Printing press.
A printing press.
Yeah,
Frick.
yeah.
However,
Start a revolution. Sorry,
there
go on.
is a
Second
novel that is a new printing. It's a new novel. It's been freshly written. It is a heavily romanticized account of one of the earlier kings of Lucevera, sort of like the third king of Lucevera, who was known to be basically very charming, a war
Sure.
hero, sort of a princely type.
Reader X old king. Self-insert.
And yeah, it's sort of a historical account of a particular time, and this is why it's maybe a bit popular amongst the nobility right now, and it's newly penned, is it tells the tale of how this king, maybe, as it's a historical account, as it's Lucevera, it is heavily suggested that he perhaps courted a woman not of the noble houses before eventually marrying
Scandalous.
because of the forced marriages of nobility. But his true love, it is rumored, may have been a woman of common. So it tells that tale of that first forbidden romance.
You should write novels, man. Okay.
Yeah.
How much is it?
Next stretch goal.
For this book,
This book.
You're like, you got me all steamy here.
Lorenzo wants to read it.
And then what happens?
tell you what, I'm going to find out because we have a rule book.
The king is immorally grey.
No, just his hair is.
No, this is when he was
I'll take
young.
what I can get.
hair?
This is when he was young.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Wig.
Sorry.
Gross.
Yeah, you can't have it. Sorry.
There's a moment of silence, and immediately the brain starts going, what if I said something wacky?
That's it. That's what it does.
Prudence.
Yeah.
She comes back.
Except it usually comes after,
Yeah.
where I'm like, what if I just said something wacky that I shouldn't?
Oh.
And then the other
There's
part of the
no
brain says,
free-
what did you just say?
Hey.
Were we cleared for this?
Yeah.
Were we sanctioned?
Who approved that?
The other part
Who
of the
put
brain's
that
like,
out the printer?
The monkey symbols.
I'm trying to
Literally,
Guess
Yeah,
you
okay.
look
brain of
horrified.
a stiff person constantly. There's music somewhere.
That's a. It's you can't afford this.
Yeah, for this book, it is
Go on.
150 silver.
Which is 300 for Leonie.
Yep.
Damn it. I could
Nice
have
thought.
afforded it, but yeah. There you go.
You could have done that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Or we could
and-
be practical.
No, it's not 300 for Leone. It's 150 because she pays the fee whenever she
Yeah, yeah.
makes the money.
Yeah.
So whenever Leone gets money, she halves it.
But then how come when we were buying an apron for
Because
Because-
someone else was buying it for me.
Yes, so you can't
So we
circumvent
can't
that rule.
break the
Because that would be BS. Because all it would have, I won't take any loot. You guys take it, and then
Yeah.
buy me everything I ever need.
Yeah,
Like that's just
gotcha.
stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pen and paper, just out of curiosity, how much would
A
that
pen and ink, quill, and papers is 200 silver.
200. And to hire someone to write for me?
That is probably more like
Yeah.
5 or 10 silver.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yes. So you can go in this town. You can probably go to an administrative hall or courthouse.
Yeah.
And there is someone who will scribe you a letter.
Yeah,
I'll say
sick.
for 5 silver.
Sick.
And you basically dictate it to them, and
Great.
they write it in gorgeous handwriting and send it off.
Wonderful. Okay. In that circumstance, then, how much downtime are we having in between?
Oh, you got heaps of
like,
time.
Yeah, got like a whole week.
I would like to try to work to earn a little bit more coin, if possible, to then purchase the book and to also get this letter scribed for me in the time that we have, if possible.
You can potentially do that next week
Okay.
because you've
Yeah,
already
cool.
chosen your action for this
Yeah,
one.
that's cool.
Which is basically to do a whole bunch of other stuff.
That's fine. That's fine. Cool.
You also know that someone already has ink and paper.
Hello.
Oh,
And can do
If
drawings
you
for a book.
spoke to me, we could conspire the novel together.
Lorenzo
Do you
has
have
some
any idea how
ideas.
many ideas Lorenzo would have?
Okay, so
Maybe you return, you're like, I can't afford it. Lorenzo, I need help.
I'm stuck in a freaking bed all day.
Oh, yeah.
Give me something. And I'll be like, you'll be like, what are you drawing? I'll be like, nothing. Let's do this.
okay.
Yeah. Every time you come in, I can like slip you a piece of paper with like the ideas of what the next bit could be, and you can like slip them back, and I'll just try and like write the next part of the story.
So actually handing out like manuscripts under the covers, like, oh.
You're writing the
My
longest
chapter
letter
three.
I've ever
My
seen
roleplay
anyone
character's
write.
getting into writing. Who'd have thought?
It's a branch.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No, I'm down. If you, yeah.
Sure. I go back instead and we start.
If you get a book, because I've got a book, so I can't sacrifice my drawing book. But if you get like a lined paper,
How much is an empty book? Like a sketchbook or a journal?
No ink.
Probably
Just
like
book.
50 to 100 silver. Because the ink, quill, and papers items is not like 4 bits of paper and a thing.
Yeah.
It's like a significant box full of everything you basically ever need to never have to worry about that in the campaign again.
oh, does that mean I can just use mine?
Did you buy ink, quill, and paper?
Yeah.
As an item?
Oh.
You have like ink, quill, and paper as an item is like you slide a drawer out and there's like 5 pots of ink and there's like 5 quills and it's
That's
like
what you're
it's like
carrying
your
around
full.
this whole time.
Okay.
Just a box of papers.
But I'm still going to buy a journal instead. I still want to find like a really nice, kind of girly sort of just that
An
a
empty
romance novel
book.
could be in. Yeah.
Of 50 silver.
Done.
Is this romance
Books are
novel
very
written by
expensive in this
Lorenzo?
world.
Okay. I
Yeah,
come
you
back.
guys do need the printing press because paper hasn't even been invented. So it's all on vellum.
What? What's vellum?
Vellum is like pigskin. That's why it's so expensive. It's like the parchment is made of like animal.
No way.
Yeah.
Don't mess it up.
It's like stretched skin.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Why
I
not?
come back
Yeah.
and
They need to learn how to mulch paper, these losers.
I say,
I can leave my bed, so I'll like.
come to the
You
garden.
might catch me when I. Yeah.
Let's go hang out. I imagine you were there for that conversation that I said to Bianca I'd get her something to read.
Yeah.
So
Did you find something?
well, kind of. I think that to take her mind off things, I think something romantic would be really good. It is very expensive, as you're probably well aware that I was
Yes.
not. So I was thinking perhaps would you like to write something?
I like we just make it up.
Yeah.
I have never thought about how that would work.
Well,
Like, in what way? Because, I mean, as De La Rosa knows, I'm not good at drafting within the lines.
Oh.
So it may not be accurate or
that's okay. It doesn't matter as long as it's from the heart. Besides, you can also fill it with pictures, and technically I'm commissioning you to do this too, so...
Really?
Well, in a way, yes. I mean, I can't afford to pay you too much, but I could.
No, I could not accept money for such a thing, but we could work together.
And I have an idea. I describe
In vivid detail?
Bianca and, oh my God, what's his name?
Cosimo.
Cosimo. Yeah.
That might be very embarrassing.
Yeah, but you'd like we'd need to like we'd need to rename the characters, right?
Are you
So it'd be like
making an erotica?
Are you writing erotic fan fiction? Is Lorenzo going to be able to do that without blanking?
no, he wouldn't. I bet you. Leona would be egging him on to be like, just write the word. It's for the genitals.
But you know the worst thing is,
I cannot possibly do it.
in a world, I just picture Lorenzo in a world without.
I've never held a woman before. I don't know what you're talking about.
I can, and without so much art where you came from, I can imagine you being like, okay, fine, I'll write it. Okay. She lifts her dress and reveals her lady penis. It's like that you don't know what's down there, so you just assume it's what you've got.
It's just like,
With breasts
His mother
like-
died at an early
They
age.
wrap around
Watermelon.
each other like snakes.
Her breast felt
like
like
Avatar.
sand.
I need you. Once he's done already,
buckwheat.
you need to
I
roll a
don't like
d20 to
sand.
see.
Buckwheat.
Oh, he's going to have to make a
Of
skill
course.
check for this quality of the writing.
Oh my
Well, joke's on you because I have the feat artistic where I get an advantage on a deft of hand roll with art. And thank God
This ain't a deft of hand roll.
this is art. What?
There's no
like an
way.
intelligence.
Art,
Come
you
on.
don't need deft of hand to write. This is about your
Wisdom.
brain. We're going to go with
Deft
your...
of hand paired with.
Intuition.
It's still, I'm using deft of
Yeah,
hand, my man.
I don't want you to use... I don't think it's appropriate.
Well, I'm going to
That's
be
the quality of what the
part
writing
of it
looks
will
like.
be illustration and
I said
how
that he could
beautiful
draw.
it is. It will be beautiful to behold. Come on, man. I was made for this.
He doesn't write
You're not
anything
made
untoward,
for
but
writing.
then there's just like
Pair with wisdom.
illustrated.
Intuition, empathy.
Like-
right?
Paired with intelligence.
Biggest.
Investigation, knowledge.
Your
engineering.
your quality of writing is not based on your wisdom. It's based off your knowledge, your vocabulary, your understanding of what would... Wisdom would be how emotional it is.
Yeah.
Intuition,
Wisdom's like a
empathy.
story.
Come on. Intuition, empathy.
I think that's like... But the
Would
quality
you
of the writing is
prefer-
intelligence.
It depends what sort of writing I'm trying to do. Really like well written writing or like evocative, human,
I agree with that.
raw, you know? And that's what matters in a
You
story.
can do really
right?
well, like
That's
factually.
great. I'm glad that you think that. The role... I'll
Go
give you
on.
deft of hand, but it's intelligence deft of hand.
Can I assist? Because I am assisting in this as well.
Yeah, you can assist.
So you can
You get an extra dice.
Roll for how helpful
Okay.
your assistant
I'm,
is.
I'm rolling now.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So invested in this fictional book.
Like,
Okay.
I get what
Just
you're
roll.
saying.
Oh, you read
but
it, sorry.
Okay.
when we're talking about not knowing if girls have doodles or not, the intelligence
Oh
is...
yeah.
I don't frankly care if it's a success or a fail.
Tell you what. No,
I just
scrap
want it
all
to be
this.
a critical in either
Scrap
direction.
all this. Scrap all this. Make 2 rolls. It makes so much
Yeah,
more sense.
yeah.
So
Okay,
can I get you to do
okay.
a deft of hand wisdom check that is the quality of the art, the emotion conveyed,
Okay.
that, and then we're going to get a quality of the actual writing check.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry to segue this into.
No, it's
No,
today.
this is fun. This is fun. 1, 2, 3, 4 for my art and evocativeness.
That's good. That's really good.
Advantage.
So you can re-roll
2,
2 successes,
2 fails,
2 fails. Yeah, that's what I'm... Advantage, yeah.
which are both successes. So that's 6, baby.
6 successes. Okay. Now can I get you to roll a charisma engineering check?
Okay.
Engineering.
It's the craft of putting knowledge into anything. It's not just what we would think of as
Wow,
engineering.
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is
Charisma,
your ability
engineering.
to weave a tale of romance through your charm. That's what the charisma is. Like
Do
how
I get
well
an
can
assist
you?
on this?
You can get 1 extra dice as well for this assist.
Yeah.
This
We-
is going to take you ages.
I
too.
like to feel. I feel like. I like the idea that we bring Arvin in, but like just for like spelling and like
you-
sentence structure. I have no context.
Arvin can't help you with
Okay,
this.
all right.
Yeah,
So
he's
look, that
working.
is terrible anatomy.
That would be a 1.
Awesome. Okay, this work is going to take you a week.
Okay.
So you
By
started
the time
at
you
this
finished,
stage.
I don't need to read anymore.
There's like spelling mistakes.
No, you know what?
And like
you can have it done by the end of the first, that dead leader injured. So by the
Okay.
time you're well enough to really sit up in bed and
Okay,
read,
sounds
it'll
good.
be done. So it'll take about 3 days.
it's gonna look stunning.
So that's what you do for the remainder of the time after you recover. You're writing a romance book.
Fiction, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Well
down.
done.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
that's sick.
Okay.
We're sick.
We make a good team.
And you bought the journal to write that in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
characters'
I marked it
names
off.
are Kianka and Bossy
So
Legally distinct.
and one of them
okay,
is missing
so-
a foot.
do you want to move through the days? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
I will say that there was a previous time you mentioned as well that you were going to be drawing artworks of the patients. And you were doing that for the first couple of days.
Yeah, I would say like
before
leading up
starting
to this
novel.
project. Yeah.
So you can kind of bounce between, you can write and then draw and bounce
Yeah,
between.
like there'll be times where like I need feedback or like, you know, I'm waiting on fondly on us to sort of like sneak away, it's conspire.
Yeah, so later that afternoon, as Leone is getting some notes together and you're seeing that sort of sunset light come through, and you notice that one of the nurses wheels that young girl into the courtyard again. She kind of goes back and forth, food, etc. You have an artwork you've already been working on for her. You kind of pull it out to finish it before you proceed with the novel. And you just keep staring. Can I get you to make a wisdom? Actually, I'm going to say this is going to sound weird, but can I get you to make a charisma survival check?
Okay. Okay.
4 successes out of 4.
Yeah.
Is that a sweeping?
No,
or is
No,
it-
5 for sweeping.
You look at this young girl and you really take in the detail as you draw this. She is, and you realize, so you would say she's like vaguely, she's very small, very slender. And you'd say probably late single digits, prepubescent young girl. And you would describe her as beautiful and delicate like a lily in a way that is enthralling. And with that check, it's a way that feels kind of like she's the subject of a painting. Like there's something about this girl. You would hear it, you would describe it as like a muse, like someone who would obsess over her. There's just something almost fae-like, something that it's the sort of person you see in the street that makes you look twice, regardless of for whatever reason. They just have that aura around them of like, there's something fascinating. I just want to look at their face.
I must paint you.
Yes, I must paint you.
Grab small child. I must paint you.
There's this innocence perfectly entwined with frailty that makes it feel like this girl is like this perfect subject for a whole genre of art.
It is the sort of thing that Lorenzo is just drawn to because it's so different and more pure than anything he's ever known, which has always been harsh and masculine and brutal. But there is like that is the sort of true beauty he seeks that he doesn't see in a harsh sort of world. So yeah, he definitely is pulled in by that.
In all your observations of this young girl, you realize that you have never seen her move.
What?
You've never seen her move.
When, in what context do I see her?
You
Out
see
the
her in
window.
the chair. But you realize, and this is like the 4th or 5th day, that
Isn't she just being wheeled around?
yeah, she gets wheeled in this chair and she gets visited by this woman in the mornings. But you realize that you have never seen her move of her own volition. Not once. Her arms lay still in the chair at her side. Her head is sort of slightly lolled and limped to one side, and her hair falls around her face, framing it. And there's just this picturesque, sad, beautiful porcelain, like picture those kind of like French fairy-ish drawings. But you just realize that you've never seen her smile, you've never seen her lift her head, you've never seen her react to anything.
I think Lorenzo is obviously very immersed in what's happening with his friends and all this stuff. And that's the sort of thing that catches him off to the side. And I'll say like through this rest period, he's not like going to interact or anything, but just becoming more observant and probably doing so mainly through an artistic lens because there's a degree to which is like there's people got their stuff going on here. Like I don't want to intrude. I'm just grateful that we are being cared for. But the curiosity will be growing. And I'd say that like he's probably curious enough to, in a bit, approach the person who visits her.
So that evening, Leone and Arvin arrive at a location that I'm totally going to tell you what it is. You arrive at the Saddle and Shoe.
Is it daytime or nighttime?
It's the evening.
But it's inside?
You've dealt what it's
I'm gonna change the picture.
Okay, yeah, it's evening.
Okay.
You arrive at
We're doing the new thing.
Literally all three of you are trying to press the buttons at the same
you
time.
arrive at the Saddle and Shoe, which is the inn that you are now staying at, the both of you, and that your companions are staying at. It's a large, one of several inns. It's large. It's well appointed. It's even in the town, it has a space like a stable for people's horses. It's quite it's the sort of thing you only see in larger cities where you have a actual dedicated inn for travelers, business people, traders that come into towns, as opposed to being like a public house with a sleeping room for travelers. This is like actually just a hotel business and food and stuff, which is, it's a luxury that you find in cities more than the towns you travel through. So you are comfortably appointed, and in this place, you get that opportunity to sort of talk to your companions and fill them in on how everything's going. Settle in a bed without occasional screams echoing through. But it is, in fact, Arvin, upon the time that he is sort of settling for the evening into his room at this place. I'm going to say you have private rooms. Enough rooms. There's not many people traveling right now.
Wow.
As
Okay.
I said, it's a luxury.
This is very novel considering most of the journey.
Yeah. So Arvin, in this room, in this place of quiet, one of the first times able to contemplate and think, there's a gnawing feeling in the pit of your stomach that you're almost forgetting something. And that feeling grows.
You. Boy.
A voice echoes in your head.
Sort of start and sit up straight.
Did you forget me?
Sort of slowly reach over to my bag and pull forth this skull. Not really reverentially, more turning it over, like curiously.
And you see these glinting gemstones in its eye sockets reflecting back at you.
Sort of like rotate around to like sort of look at the gems. So I wasn't just imagining things. You do speak.
Yes.
Well, I admit, not too long ago, I would have thrown you out in disgust. This makes no sense. There's no physical way you can speak, and yet somehow I have seen things that are weirder than a talking skull.
There are cracks appearing.
I'm sure there are. All right. My question is not how, but why. Why do you speak? Why are you communicating? Why are you choosing now?
You mean now as in the few days that have passed?
It has been loud. The cracks grow wider with time.
Cracks. Are you talking about emotional cracks? Rents in the world physically? Like an earthquake? Or are you trying to be more cryptic than this? Speak sense.
Man,
Are you fucking serious?
I'm so sorry.
This is such a good mood.
So
Such a great.
so sorry.
Remember we were talking about.
So sorry.
Remember we were talking about that thought the thought you have first, where you're like,
We have some intrusive thoughts. Some are from a demonic skull, the others are from
I'm
elf.
about to say something.
I'm gonna go down
stupid.
here. You guys keep
This
going.
is what this scene needs, is butt crack loudly said into the middle of it.
Someone's
Okay.
getting clipped.
Keep going.
Let's just say some nonsense for like one or two lines that doesn't mean anything.
Blah 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 blah. Okay.
Just say something interesting.
And more, you have chosen to speak to me. You spoke of showing me things, teaching me things. You are implying my talents at alchemy.
your talents at death.
Well, that's morbid. I would have you know that I've dedicated my life to the opposition of death.
It is one and the same.
All right. Now we're moving into philosophy. If my brain can smoothly translate into the conversation I'm having with a skull. Yes, okay. They're one and the same. No, I actually agree with you on that. It is all a cycle in which us alchemists are, of course, very intrinsically knowledgeable of, which means to me that either you are or were philosopher or some form of alchemist yourself. Am I correct?
Man has denied its gods too long.
Ah, quack. So, clearly, alchemist of some potential ill repute, which I suppose is. You sealed yourself in your skull? That is a possibility. Or you were cursed? Cursed. Silly word, but still. Possibly so relevant now.
Mine is not the only voice that echoes across the land now.
Is there more like you that have awoken?
My siblings hunger for a world denied.
I sort of look up, sort of look out the window, pondering, and sort of tap the skull in for.
You stroke the skulls, Joe.
All right. Well, what do they want? Physically, what do they seek to attain? What has been denied them in this world?
Her creation.
Her creation. Alchemist or something of well known? Some sort of invention? They were denied. Is this petty?
You must seek me in her heart.
I take it all back. Perhaps I am losing my mind.
Do you wish to control life and death itself?
Well,
It's a good question.
honestly, that's a trick question. Of course we do. But to what degree do we allow ourselves to fall to that depth? We have rules, morals. And it is by that that we judge our own worth.
And your parents taught you those morals by their parents, ordered by their king, decided by men, not intrinsic, not valuable.
Well, on one hand, you're not wrong, but also, how do you separate such a thing? Something that the king once spouted may well be fair, truth, and logic. I don't agree with every law of the land, but with that one, I am willing to hold truth.
You choose to take fate into your own hands. Learn my secrets and master mankind.
Master mankind. It is devious words of ill plotting.
Your eternal king has already done it. Why not you?
Eternal King, you are full of cryptic gobbledygook. You have no more of this evening. Good night, sir. I sort of
Put it back in the box.
put him upside down and sort of look away. Sort of looking around. Don't really know what to do with him. maybe
Put him in a pot of water.
And as you make that decision, just echoing for like 15 seconds is just. And as that happens, you just get a stabbing pain in your head, like a piercing migraine headache that just drives through the front of your brain. And then, like a memory, you just get flashes of briefly soldiers in your parents' physician's office, death, dying, like the moments, just like a montage of horror of just like every time you've watched someone's life slip through their fingers, but just like super rapidly, so fast that you can barely comprehend it. And then in that moment, you feel a smile, and you feel like in your head, you see this skull like it just burn into your vision in your mind. And then as it fades away, you just see like in runes and alchemical symbols, a formula that just like burns into your brain.
What did you do to me? What was that?
Knowledge lost to your kind. An offering. Create it and take your first steps towards my embrace. Or write it to parchment and burn it. Knowledge lost, and I will leave. I do not have time for men. Too humble for the glory of their ascendance.
So I'm going to stand up abruptly.
And it's like burnt into, like, you know when you look at a light and you get the dots in your eyes? It's
after image,
literally
yeah.
still like an after image in your eyes and your vision.
Yeah. Yeah, so I go sort of
Sorry, just
blink and
just a
pace a
sound
bit.
effect.
That was definitely the
Too
choice.
much, yeah.
And I'm going to pick up the skull, find a smaller satchel or bag or whatever I have, possibly evict something else, shove the skull into that, and then that bag into the bottom of my alchemy satchel, and then go and stand at the window, sort of open it for sort of fresh air, and lean on the windowsill a bit. Take a few deep breaths. No. I know my worth. I know my worth. And then he goes and sits down at the dresser, and he pulls some loose sheafs of parchment or vellum, something that maybe already has his writing on it, turns it over and starts scribbling, testing theories and the potential single ingredients that are still set in his own eyeballs onto the paper, trying to work out what they could mean.
Okay, so do you write down the formula though, just so it's on paper?
Sort of like
The pieces to try and...
the act of writing it down to try and
like
mentally and visually picture how they go together and what they create.
Do you take record though of the correct, like as it's correctly presented? It's not
Yes.
like a magic spell. It's not going to like, you're not going to write it down. It's going to, no. Because he said write it on parchment and burn it if you want to get rid of it. But you do record it. Okay. And then you're breaking it up into its constituent components to understand what it could do.
Yeah, basically what it does and also there's a large amount of doubt, is this making something correctly? Like, is it like a falsehood is making me create something else nefarious, or basically trying to suss out exactly what this is.
Make a wisdom intuition check, but they're going to make another check as well. Actually, no. Let's go intelligence intuition for working out whether or not it's going to work or not without actually really understanding it.
All right. 3.
3 successes. It definitely seems to be a correct formula. It doesn't seem like it's going to be there are things that are in line with experiments you've already been doing. There's little pieces that like seem to make sense with some theories that you've been building in the back of your mind. It just seems more advanced, and like make an intelligence investigation check as you like pour through this new information. Challenge level is going to be 4 and 6.
Ooh.
Oh, hang on.
Nope.
No.
What'd you get?
4 successes currently.
And even if I use something, I cannot get higher than I can't get to the 6. So 4 it is.
You don't have any knack?
Oh, actually, yeah.
I mean, you could burn both your knack or 2 of your
Don't you
knack.
have the reroll for the day as well? Or the...
Yeah,
you're risking
you'd have
a
to
blowout.
roll 6 out of 6.
Yeah, it's
though.
re-roll the whole thing.
Oh,
You know what?
okay.
Yeah, because you get 1 back a day.
Yeah, I'm definitely invested in this, so I will burn 2 knack.
As you start to pour through and try and break apart this thing and figure it out, you probably spend the next like hours burning into the night. You don't even realize it as you're writing down all these paperworks, and it just suddenly like an hour turns into 2, turns into 3. It's 2 in the morning and you haven't even realized.
Been there.
And at the end of that process, you like lean back and look at it, and you suddenly realize that in your hands is the formula for capturing, you're pretty sure with those 6 successes, for capturing the essence of someone upon the point of their death in its entirety, in a way that you're quite certain that you could extract someone, what makes them a person, from them using alchemy. For what purpose you would do this, you're not entirely sure, but it feels like an incredibly powerful thing that people are trying to learn, and potentially could be an element in finding the Philosopher's Stone, like that concept of a way of eternal life. If you can at the moment of someone's death trap that part of them that is dying and hold on to that, you have a piece of one of the many ways man could gain immortality.
Arvin sort of sits back stunned at this revelation and what it could mean, both for the world but also just for his own understanding. And the fact that it doesn't seem like such a far-fetched concept as he slowly reaches forwards and opens up the right-hand dresser cupboard in front of him, so just revealing where Ticket appears to be dozing. Looks at him for a second and then slowly closes the door again.
What the fuck is Ticket?
What do you mean? He's sleeping.
I see your face there, Mari.
He's a little clockwork
I see your
man.
little face.
He's a little potwork man. He's like a little.
You don't get to ask
cogsworth.
questions you don't know.
Sorry. Yep.
You don't know anything.
Well, at least I didn't say butt crack.
Hey, hey, mine was a meaningful contribution.
And as you hold your work at the end of the night, the crackling fireplace in your room burns with low embers, about to go out. Do you go to bed?
Yes, unsure if I will get any sleep.
Because it's that moment of like, like man has done this work. Is he sure that he wants to keep it? And of course you can change your mind later, but it's that moment of like,
Oppenheimer.
do you look down at what's in your hands and look at the fire and just toss it in and go like, this, no one needs to know this? Or do you go to bed?
I take the parchment and I fold it up.
Yeah, you do. Very good.
End scene.
Several days later,
Yeah, nice.
it is
Whimsy?
day 7, and at this stage, guess what?
What?
Bianca's arm is no longer killing her, and the maggots have been removed.
Love that.
Yay.
Thank goodness.
A sort of whimsy.
You are still
context.
injured, however, and you'll need several more days of rest.
So have
But
we
but a pair of
undergone
people-
a,
But so
back to the
recuperation.
exciting
every other character is full everything, restore everything to max.
Away.
However, Leone,
No.
it is the morning of the 8th day, and Leone and Lorenzo come in holding a book.
And the moon is going to crash.
I am so nervous. I've never done anything like this. This is crazy. Is this stupid? Maybe we should put it away.
No. Bianca will appreciate all of your
What if
hard
she
work.
hates it?
She won't hate it.
I've never done writing before, and this is not your native language.
For all we know, Bianca could be illiterate and she just likes the pretty pictures. So then you've got nothing to worry about.
I'm pretty sure she can read.
Pretty sure she's told you she did do academia.
Pretty sure she can.
She's just been walking around with like a literal clipboard, writing things down around our like hills.
Could be illiterate.
That could be like stick figures.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just like
I don't think my heart has ever beat this fast, but if you think this is good,
Yes.
we will.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I need to just breathe a
It's
little
okay.
bit.
It's okay. Just.
And you sure that bit about the prince
Oh,
who
yes.
ran away?
Oh, yes.
It was okay?
Oh, yes.
It wasn't too...
No. No. It's good.
But pantaloons aren't meant
No,
to
it's
do
good.
that.
No, it's good. Trust me.
I trust you.
Oh,
To your door,
We
I
haven't. I have. Do I?
She hasn't got a door.
It's probably
but
open, but
yeah,
like.
you walk
we-
into the hall.
Okay, you're just
knock on
being
the
very
column
polite.
beside her door, her bed.
I go, come in.
You weirdos.
How are you feeling today, Bianca?
Better without the worms.
Well, that's good. Oh, they're gone. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Yes.
I never want them anywhere near me ever again.
No.
Well,
But
We
yes.
both like look like we have something in our pockets.
What? Have you seen something?
So, well, we have been working on something for you, which we hope would entertain you. You're still recovering, and we wanted to encourage you and cheer you up. So,
ta-da!
I hold it. I like hold up the book, and it's a beautiful. It's actually a lovely book that we've also like. I'd say like I'll have painted a little bit on the outside with like you know.
It's gorgeous.
You're back at your drawing, Lorenzo.
Well, it's not for me. It's a gift, and we hope you enjoy it. I don't know what to say.
Do you make
You
clear
made
that you
this
wrote?
all.
Yeah.
You will have signed it or something. Sure.
We did. Yeah. What's it called? It's
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Buccaneer's Bounty.
court. There's gonna be a court in there.
Courting of the courts of courts.
The bounty of the Buccaneers
Court of
booty.
swords and
Oh, I like it.
She likes.
Steve.
She does like roses.
The courting of the feather.
The court of the rose count.
sure.
I don't mind
The
it.
name
I don't mind it.
sucks.
I don't mind it.
The name sucks.
It's a strong course theme going on
trashy
here.
romance novels do. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
that's perfect.
There is on the cover a beautifully painted, long-haired blonde man
on a horse.
on a white
Yeah.
horse
With no shirt on.
with no shirt on, galloping through a field of roses.
I take it with my one hand.
Is that
and
the cover?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I look at it, I go, I don't think I've ever read anything that looks like this before.
You-
It's just been academia.
She hates it. You hasn't even read it. You haven't even read it yet.
No, it's just not a style I've ever seen, really.
At this,
But
at
thank
this
you.
point,
I'll-
I
I'll-
walk past. Oh, you decided to give it to her?
We thought perhaps it would take your mind off things a little bit, because I felt like the books that are in here are probably not suited for your current situation. But hopefully this will help.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't think I've just read for fun before. It's always been to learn, so.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
I have learned a lot in the process.
Almost too much.
So you wrote it all?
We, Leona has educated me on many things. Some I guessed from her culture, some from your culture. She's like pointing at the women in the room.
I look forward to reading it.
Okay. Well,
And
I'm going to get water. I just run away.
Love it.
There's like a bucket of fresh water by my bed. And I'm like,
Slow
I'm
zoom
out.
in
I'm
on
done.
Lorenzo's
Oh, you've been
eyes that
now.
have seen
You'd be
and known too
checking
much
out.
now.
Now you've been out at the tavern, so you're no longer staying with Bianca.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, just so you know, you would have probably had about 4 or 5 days there.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
You were alone. That's actually probably been the worst thing for you, Bianca, is the last 2 nights you've been alone.
I don't know if this is something to roll for, but she's definitely been, as she's been feeling better, trying to observe the other patients and see if like she can work out anything, like whether any like people who are potentially noble or, you know.
I think we can cover that in the coming days because
Okay.
dying to injured, you've been, despite sitting up and having some conversations, it's kind of that you get like half a good hour
And then
in a
resting.
day, and then you're kind of like might get a fever or you're
Okay,
like
okay.
really. So now is this is that moment where you're kind of coming good.
Okay.
Do you open the book?
Yeah.
Can I just say, I just love the idea that Leone insists that like we're writing this bad boy, and Lorenzo just like can't bring himself to a lot of this stuff, and like he's a bad boy who like keeps like apologizing. And he's like really like you can
there's some
sense
parts that are, like,
Lorenzo's
crossed out.
conflict in this character. Yeah, totally.
So I have to get a piece of information. Is the
Sure.
intent that this is basically a romantic erotic novel?
Yes. 100%.
Okay. So
Yeah, I've made him write erotica.
There are pages
yeah.
blotted out and like turned into flowery displays of beautiful art, which like when I come back with Leona, you're like, what did you do with it? I'm like, I like had to rewrite it because like it was, I could, but I'm like, okay,
Some of it
if
was
you're sure,
too much.
Yeah, it's like a lot.
Bianca, first page, you open it up. The most intricate and beautiful first lettering that you have ever seen in a book.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
So that, like, you know, the very first letter you did
Yeah,
that,
the
you're just
fancy
like
letter.
taken away with how good it is.
I
It's
kind of
unbelievable.
absentmindedly just put my hand on
And above it, an illustration of like a sort of inspired by that look down that you did on Lucevera's Capital El Grano. It's like, you know how often the first page they kind of have that, like there's a little silhouette of like the main character in the distance on like a horse, and then it just shows like the landscape around them, like the journey begins.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. This is amazing. Do you start reading or do you flick a couple of pages just to get a look? See?
I think I'll flick up a couple pages first.
The book falls on a page that has an image of a man that is. Can I get you to make an intuition
Go
check?
on.
Intuition.
So I'm not going to put anything in this that I don't think Lorenzo would have.
Yeah.
But I'm basing this
doing
off
good
your
so far.
rolls.
Yeah, okay.
So, all right, make an intuition check.
Followed by a resistance check.
3.
It is hard not to think of Cosimo when you see this guy. Also, I don't want to imply anything about the way your character feels about this.
Yeah.
Looks like Cosimo with a wig.
So that's up to Bianca.
Uncanny.
But what I will tell you just from the point of the actual artwork,
Yeah.
it is almost shockingly like erotic. like not, and I don't mean overly sexual
Yeah.
because he has a
Lorenzo's
modesty
trying to
to it.
approach it like beautiful sculptures and
Yeah,
art.
but
So,
it's
like,
done so beautifully and tastefully that it's kind of like a lip bite. Like it's a drawing, but like what the fuck? Like it's so sexy. And it's just like, you know, he's at this stage of the book, you know, he's having a wound tended, but he's got his shirt like buttoned down to the belly button, and there's like this perfect musculature, and it's just like it's obviously a bit distinct.
Yeah. I think Bianca's cheeks go red and she does the thing where she's like looking to see if anyone's she's looking at. And then she's
And we're all just like,
no one's looking right.
what you read.
Now, I'm going to describe basically the book based on their roles, the quality of it.
Amazing.
But you obviously don't read it instantly. This
Yeah.
is over the next few days.
Yeah.
It is one of the most genuine, and because you've never read creative writing like this.
No.
It is straight to the soul, genuine, heartfelt, romantic, appealing. There's an A word in there that I'm you know, depending on your character, it's an arousing book. It's titillating in points.
oh, it's us.
I've just feverish
That
stopped her.
seems
That's all.
like it has been written by a horny 5-year-old. So like, which I don't even know how that works. But the point is, elementary level writing is what I mean. So like,
And then they
but like weirdly emotionally resonant. But the language and grammar and like punctuation is so juvenile at
He
times.
touches her boobies.
yeah, literally.
It's like you get to this beautiful, soft, delicate moment where, like, empathetically, the arcs of the story are all perfect, but then it's just like, and then he stood up from the chair and he was standing. Like it's just got all these terrible. The vocab is like basic, and it's written terribly,
Yeah.
but weirdly erotic.
Like embarrassingly.
Great team.
Embarrassingly.
It's
if
like reading a
written
really
badly.
bad fanfic
Yeah,
that then just
yeah.
has a scene in it and be like, fuck, that's kind of hot.
Like on the screen, you two went to high five, but in the camera, you both like clapped heads, but with the sound effect.
Also, there's some weird parts in it that you literally don't understand, but it
Yeah.
kind of adds to the mystique, where it's clear that there's been some information given by a certain party, because it's sort of like, and as she lifted
how
up
it
her
works,
dress,
that's it.
she revealed her klapekta. and the three knotted strings were untied as it dropped to the ground. You're kind of like, what's that? What is that bit? What is that? There's a few very specifically literally Kajeti words in there, because Leone like didn't have the language.
word.
She's like, it's a thing. Yeah, which kind of makes it exotic.
Oh
and
my god,
sexy.
because it makes sense that no one would have given her the Luceveran words.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So she's like, how do I say? It's like when you
Literally, at the end of reading this book, like like 7
Kajeti words.
seven
and they're
Kajeti
all
words really
inappropriate.
well, and they're really dirty.
yeah.
Bianca's definitely like, she's
Takes your mind off him.
she's definitely reading it all. She's like confused and fascinated of like,
Does it capture you a little? Does it like?
hey, the
on.
customer drawings.
Oh, and there's a few.
Yeah.
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 And I'll say probably there's probably not a level of, this is an untreaded ground, but because like statue and stuff is very common in here, like you wouldn't have hang-ups about like drawing nudity and stuff. So there's definitely like a few bottoms in there at the very least. Like that wouldn't upset Lorenzo or make him shy. That's just like, yeah, of course. There'd be,
Yeah.
No.
there's a butt crack. There it is. Well done.
I knew it.
It's predestined.
Now is your butt crack.
Yeah.
You've been waiting for it.
I was.
Yeah.
It's just on delay.
That is enjoyed over the next few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
When they come back to ask about it, she's kind of all like, well, I think some of the content is maybe
She hates it. I've got to get some water. I'll be back in a little bit.
You got a jug in one hand and you go and get another jug.
maybe not something that I would find lying around home, but new things are.
Oh my God,
always
don't leave it lying around.
important. Well, no, maybe I'll have to
Maybe
just
we should. I
confiscate
wrote my
it.
name in it.
I should put a little.
I think I'll
plaster-
have to confiscate it forever. Sorry.
Also, odd that Cosmico was one of the characters with a K, like Cosmico.
No, it was.
He's
very
like cosmic powers.
thoughtful.
It made sense.
No, she says like she'll confiscate it, but it's like she just doesn't want to admit.
It would,
but
I would
she'll
imagine
keep
it would actually be quite heretical and offensive if it was seen, because it's
fanciful.
way too fanciful, right? Like,
No. So this is the thing with LUCEVERA.
Who knows
is
what's in books?
It wouldn't be so heretical. It would be looked down upon for sure, but because it's artistic expression. But the content of it is depicting like a hero there's a woman and a hero and
so
like
it could be a
sex
historical
You
account.
wouldn't know, yeah.
it's more that the level of fancy is like because like the people they're still human. People look out the window and fantasize about someone they're attracted to. It would be like, it's really embarrassing for the author that you put that on paper, and it's
Yeah,
embarrassing that you own someone's fantasies, but it's not like burn them at the stake.
But can I
Hereditary.
borrow it for? Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not, because if you were they'd laugh at you more if it was like a story about like weird magical creatures and going on a magical mystical journey.
Can I ask? Can we have left it on a cliffhanger?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
For the series.
So and then I say like, if you enjoyed it, would you be interested in reading a part 2?
Are you kidding me?
well,
It cost 50 silver to buy that bloody notebook.
somebody should definitely look through it to make sure it's appropriate. So sure.
You mean like proofread a sequel?
Maybe.
I mean,
I did academia. I've read books. I can read them pretty quickly. That's all.
I liked doing the art.
Does Bianca need a curtain on her cot in this dormitory? Fest over it,
Just
blush,
half in
bright
the-
red like a beetroot. It's just-
the covers.
yeah, with a little candle.
The candle comes back out under the covers.
Somehow we keep demonstrating things with two hands for podcast listeners, and we're like, oh no, you can't do that. Or you can just melt a candle onto your stump.
My arm is the candle, so each time you use it, just gets
Oh
smaller.
my God! You can
It gets smaller.
You can be Lumiere.
Yeah.
I do actually have a favor. Not that you haven't done any favors, but
Of course. You want part 2 and part 3? No worries. We can start straight away.
no,
calm down,
Leonie,
miss.
I was wondering if you could, as it's part of my uniform, help me braid my hair.
Oh.
Just
Yeah.
so it,
Of course.
I've got protocol to follow and things.
Give me just one moment and I'll be right back.
Sure.
I go find a brush.
Oh, you can absolutely
messy.
find the brush.
I come back.
Now I start screaming.
And as this moment between two girls is about to happen,
I put flowers in your hair. Just have
and Arvin has finished his work for the week. So you had now done that job. You can recommence another round of it. And if you do stay for longer, of course, Leone has an opportunity to, you all have something to do for this week, except if Bianca's healing, if you decide to do that recover action. Yep. But
Is there a mysterious child nearby?
at this time of the morning, as I said, you came in the morning, this mess of brown hair on this short, kind looking lady as she walks in with a tray, and that same visitor that you've seen most days sort of comes in and walks in and smiles and nods and brushes past you, or goes to walk past you.
Excuse me, madam. Oh, good morning. I don't mean to intrude. I can't help but ask. I've my companions, I'm sure you've seen, we are new to town. We've been traveling, and I can't help but admire your dedication to the young girl you visit here.
Oh, thank you. I don't have any of my own, so And I look after this one right now.
Oh, it's special for people to be cared for like that. You do good work.
She gives a small bow and then she says, I'm Isabella.
Lorenzo, did she enjoy the flowers when they here? Did they cheer her? I'd hope, like others, she enjoyed their presence.
She looks slightly downcast. You can come see her if you want.
I wouldn't impose, but if she likes company, I'm friendly company.
She looks downcast and then says, you're welcome to come. And she heads into the courtyard. She actually heads into a side room, like another dormitory, and then wheels out this girl who hasn't been wheeled out in the morning. Sort of indicates for you to wait. She takes a minute, and then she comes out with this tray, and sort of struggling to push the girl while she's carrying this at the same time.
Allow me to help, please. And I'll come take the tray.
Cool. And then she wheels her out to the courtyard. It's just leftovers from my inn. So why are you here?
Oh, my close friend, companion, lost a hand. We have helped her recover. It's hard to lose a piece of yourself, and I too was injured, but
she pushes this girl's hair back behind an ear and tries to straighten it all out. But the girl is very much responding as just the physical maneuvering, just completely non-reactive to it. Yes, it must be.
Forgive me, but it is something I do as a frivolous man I've been observed to be, but when I see kindness, I am compelled to capture it. And I pull out my sketchbook and I'll flick to a page of one of the less frivolous illustrations, but I had drawn the scene of them a few times. So I'll find one of the ones that I think is tasteful and non-intrusive when they're clearly in a public place. I hope you don't think this in any way intrusive. I have drawn others here, but your care of this child has inspired me, and I hope in some small way this perhaps brings you joy.
Do you often look back upon the artworks in your book, or do you kind of draw them, turn to the next page, keep working?
Rarely.
Rarely look back?
Yeah.
So this just happens to be the first time you flick back to this image. And as you do, would it be just black and white or color?
It'd be black and white, this one.
The girl in the image radiates off the page. You can barely even describe it. It's like it's a digital image, and that the girl is actually has a light source in the drawing, which makes no sense. But it pulls out of the page and draws your attention.
I feel like, because I would have already pulled it out.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of holding it and
It is beautiful. Oh, and she takes it from your hands. You captured her perfectly.
Well, there's a beauty in how you care for her that I had tried to capture.
Oh, it's so sad. She looks back and touches a hand on her shoulder.
If you don't mind me asking, why is she here?
I must confess, I do not know. I found her. Maybe 2 weeks ago, near my inn. I have a small place on the edge of town where I look after guests, and we have animals I care for as well.
Oh, we should very much like to visit sometime. I think we'll be here for at least another week.
If you have more of that art, you'd be welcome to come and stay with us.
I think that would be nice.
It's just me and my mother. As I said, I don't have any little ones. hasn't happened for me yet. But I found her. She drops her voice and steps like a half step away, just in case the little girl is perceiving. She was near my house, to the east, to the west, where the strange folk are staying.
Strange folk?
And this with very hushed voice. The entertainers.
I'm afraid I am not from the locale.
There is a circus that travels LUCEVERA, and many people like to visit, but the nobles are not so fond of it, so they have to camp several miles from town. In between there and my house, I often travel to gather berries for my famous breakfasts. She smiles at that. A bit of a B&B environment going on. And I just found her in the dew of the early morning.
Just sitting like this?
She was laying in a field, naked as the day she was born.
What?
And
Was she harmed?
not a mark, save for one strike to the head.
Lorenzo, like, you know, wells up and like mortified, but also like uncomprehending how that could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
I must confess I have seen some strange things of late myself. I do not question your story. Perhaps when we come to visit you, we could learn a little more about where you found her, and we could look into it, see if we could find someone who knows her.
Of course, I feel a sense of guilt for finding her and not being there sooner, but the kind physician is here, but eventually I will not be able to visit forever. I have other things to do, but the physician assured me it is most strange. Just, she seems like she should be well. He assured me nothing, no harm had become of her except for this.
And she grabs your hand and takes it to her head. And you can feel as you slide upon her skull, there is like a noticeable indent in her skull. And then slides it past. There's hair covering it.
Oh, sweet child. What pain has befallen you?
It does not seem like she is in any anymore.
Well, I hope you enjoy the picture, and we will see you soon. I would very much like to try a berry breakfast one of these days.
Well, come find me. Isabel Tillett, my famous inn on the edge of town to the west. As you journey, you basically can't miss it. I hope you don't mind, though. We have quite a lot of animals.
I don't mind that at all. In fact, I think my party is quite fond of them.
We'll see you on the road to Twinbridge.
Indeed we shall.
And then you see her attempt to feed these very, very delicious looking remnants. It's like blueberry jam on scones and like remnants of this breakfast, but the girl just doesn't take any of it. She then whispers,
I think the nurses managed to get her some soup, but I have never managed to get her to eat. I don't know.
She like lifts this very thin arm. She's like, I don't know how long she will last.
Something must be done.
I don't know if it can be.
And a tear wells in her eyes, and she kind of like,
Well, I must be off. Thank you for your beautiful drawing. I'll see you soon.
Indeed.
and then she walks off and starts humming a little song to cheer herself up. But also she's the sort of person that brings that cheer usually. You can tell her demeanor is very subdued here, but there's a bit of a warmth that comes out that lightens a room a little bit as she leaves. A little hum. A few cat hairs that you notice on the on the back of the dress.
Lorenzo sort of wanders back past Bianca and Leone, sort of a bit somewhere else in his head. And then as he looks at them, his eyes widen and he remembers that he wrote porn and scurries away.
Your hair is now beautifully braided with little flowers in it.
Oh, thank you.
They're not regulation.
It's true, but I'll allow it.
Screw
While
them
I'm off duty.
Yeah.
Well. Oh, what's
Yeah,
that?
no, I was going to say your sleeve length is also not regulation anymore, but beggars can't be choosers.
Good Lord.
My goodness.
Circus, circus, circus.
Do you want to go to the circus?
Circus,
You want to go to the circus?
Yeah.
Well, we can do that next episode. Which, for our lovely YouTube viewers, is of course next week after our
I have
hiatus
to wait
with
for
Loot
the
Studios.
circus.
But for our live stream viewers and everyone here at the table, see you in 3
away,
weeks.
yeah.
Jen, you know what? I'm gonna hazard a guess that as you lean back in a cabana chair and sip a pina colada, you're not going to be worried too much about not being at the circus.
Jokes on you, she's going to bring it up every
Hopefully
day.
you'll have some lovely fan art to get back to
Yeah.
depicting a certain book.
What was it?
Cosimo's smart.
A court
Costimo.
I said Cosmico.
Cosmico.
Like the
Rose-
space, like
Rose-
Cosmic Man.
Count.
the
The court,
Fabimo, I think.
the court of
With a
Rose.
K.
Count.
Yeah.
Sure.
Count Rose. The court of Count,
Count
Rose.
Love it.
Yes.
And the female protagonist was also clearly a thinly veiled Bianca as well.
There's definitely a line in the book somewhere where Count Rose is like, you know what else, just Rose.
And with the quality of lighting, it was like, with the writing, it was like, my Dickie.
My shlushka.
And moments.
All right. Thank you,
There we go.
patrons.
There we have it. That's what we're ending on.
Let those images linger, and we will see you.
Oh my
Let this
god.
link into
See you,
the fan
everyone.
art. Goodbye.